The colony on Helios 4 was dying. Dark red skies covered the human settlement. The air was thin. Oxygen machines were failing. Food supplies had almost run out. And worst of all, strange creatures surrounded the colony. Their eyes glowed green. In the night, they made no sound. But every day, they came closer. Commander Leah stood on top of the main tower, watching the horizon. Her face was pale, her eyes full of fear. She sent one final message toward Earth. "This is Helios 4. We are surrounded. Oxygen low, power dying. We have 79 people left, 22 are children. Please, send help. We can't last much longer." She ended the transmission and closed her eyes. She didn't know if Earth would hear it in time, but Earth heard across the stars. Back on Earth, the message was received in the Global Emergency Center. It took just seconds for the video to spread across the planet. People watched it with frozen faces, mothers cried. Soldiers clenched their fists. Children asked questions no one wanted to answer. The United Space Command moved quickly. A rescue ship, Hopebringer, was prepared. It was fast, well-armed, and carried medical supplies, food, and rescue pods. The best pilots were chosen. One of them, Captain Aaron Vale, stood in front of the ship, his helmet under his arm. "We get in, we get them out. Don't delays," he said. The crew nodded. No one smiled. This wasn't a mission. It was a race against death. The Hopebringer entered the wormhole near Mars. It would reach Helios 4 in just 3 hours. Back on Helios 4, the colonists gathered in the central hall. Commander Leah told them the message had been sent, and a ship was coming. The children cheered. The adults didn't. They had lived on this alien planet for years. They had seen other species, some silent and some dangerous. Outside, the walls, the green-eyed creatures, were gathering again. More than ever before, 10 rows deep, just stared, waiting. "What are they?" colonist whispered. No one answered. High above, near the orbit of Helios 4, space shimmered. The Hopebringer came through the wormhole. Its engines were hot. Its scanners were on full alert. Captain Aaron looked at the glowing planet below. "We're here," he said, but something was wrong. The ship's radar picked up movement, something fast. Something big. "Unidentified object incoming," the co-pilot shouted. Then everything went red. A blast of energy tore through space. It wasn't a warning shot. The Hopebringer took a direct hit. On the ground, the colonists looked up. A burning trail ripped across the sky. "No, ... Commander." Leah whispered, "No, no, no." The rescue ship, their last hope, was crashing. Flames surrounded it. Pieces of metal broke off. One engine exploded in the air. It struck the nearby mountains with a violent crash. The sound echoed across the valley. Silence followed. Total silence. Commander Leah dropped to her knees. The children stared at the smoke in the sky. In Earth's orbit, a deep space satellite recorded the crash. It had watched everything. The jump through the wormhole, the attack, the fire, the final impact. It sent the footage home in less than 2 minutes. Earth watched. The video was shown to the leaders, the generals, the people. The Hopebringer was gone. No survivors. The last image from the ship showed Captain Aaron reaching toward the control panel, shouting something, then flames. The room was quiet. Then someone said, "They shot down a rescue ship full of supplies and medics." Another voice said there were children on that colony. And then one voice, cold and clear, spoke. "This is not an attack. This is a message." In a dark military chamber, Earth's top commander stood in front of a glowing map of the galaxy. His face was hard, his voice low. "They ended hope. Now we end them." Earth activated protocol. Black Winter, a secret war plan never used before. No one clapped. No one cheered. Because everyone knew. Humanity was now at war, and this time there would be no mercy. Earth had been silent for 3 days. No broadcasts, no messages, no news from the Global Council. The world waited. People gathered around screens, radios, and town halls. They watched, The crash again and again. It's the rescue ship Hopebringer, falling in flames. The fire. Children on Helios 4. Left behind, no one smiled. In New Geneva. Deep under the Earth's surface, the leaders of every nation sat in one room. The walls were black. The lights were low. And on a giant screen, footage played again. Boom. The ship exploded in midair. Screams. Smoke. Silence. Then the screen turned off. President Amina Cade stood. Her voice was cold and steady. They didn't shoot at soldiers. They didn't shoot at weapons. They killed our medics, our engineers, our rescue team. That was not an accident. That was not war. That was murder. No one argued. A tall general stepped forward. Our scanners found the weapon, a ground-based ion cannon, hidden on a moon near Helios 4. Alien design. Not THRX or ... Something worse. Ah, another voice whispered. The unified races knew we were sending help, and they let us walk into a trap. President Cade turned to the table and pressed a red switch. A hidden wall slid open, revealing a steel briefcase. The label on it read, Black Winter Protocol, A1. She unlocked it. In a cold room on Mars, a man in a black uniform received a code. Execute Order BW01. He nodded once and pressed a green button across Earth. Underground silos opened. From the oceans, great metal towers rose. The moon lit up with launch signals. Humanity was not just angry, it was ready, Captain. Rowe from the Galactic Peace Assembly watched Earth's strange silence from his cruiser. He knew something terrible was coming. He sent a message to the Galactic Council. Earth is not answering our calls. They are preparing something. Suggest we evacuate our outer colonies now. But the Council laughed. They lost one ship, said a blue-scaled diplomat. They're angry. They'll calm down. Captain Rowe knew better. He had studied humans. They never calmed down. Back in Earth's military center, war planners gathered. Around a glowing hologram showed hundreds of alien systems. Some belonged to the Threxer, some were neutral.
Ow.
And some were silent enemies who had smiled at humans for years and secretly waited for them to fall. They had helped shoot down Hopebringer. Now they would burn. General Hayes pointed at the map. We strike first at the weapons site. No warning, no mercy. Then someone asked, he replied, then we take their skies. One system at a time. The first ship launched from the dark side of the moon. It was called the Iron Wake. Sleek. Silent. Deadly. Thousands more followed. Earth's space fleet. Once used for defense and rescue missions, now flew as a sword. The mission was clear. No prisoners. No deals. No second chances. Across the galaxy, on neutral trade stations, aliens watched as human ships flew past. No signals, no lights, just cold movement. Whispers spread like fire. The humans have stopped talking. They are coming. They remember everything. Back on Helios 4, Commander Leah held her rifle. The children had stopped asking about the rescue ship. Some had stopped speaking at all. But Leah did not give up. She looked at the sky each night, waiting not for rescue, but for revenge. In an alien command room far from Earth, a Threxer warlord named Scare roared at his generals. We only shot down one ship. Why is the entire human fleet moving? One of his commanders looked pale. They have lost patience. We have awoken something we do not understand. A message flashed across their screens. A voice. Human. Cold. This is Earth. We are not negotiating. We are not listening. You will fall. Back on Earth, the president stood before a dark camera. No crowd, no flags, no music, just words. 2. Those who watched and stayed silent. To those who helped them pull the trigger. To those who think we forget. She paused, then whispered, You have mistaken our kindness for weakness. You have mistaken our silence for fear. You have mistaken our mercy for surrender. She looked straight into the camera. You will not live long enough to make that mistake again. And across the stars, alien races felt something they had never felt before when looking at Earth. Fear. The galaxy had seen many wars. Wars over fuel, over land, over religion, over pride. But this war felt different. There were no loud speeches, no bold threats, no drama, only silence and death. Earth's fleet moved like shadows. The Iron Wake, the Black Comet, the Tyrant of Mars, and over 200 smaller strike ships jumped into the Vulnar system. Their target, the ion cannon installation on a small rocky moon, the same cannon that destroyed Hopebringer, inside the station. Alien guards from the Uric species laughed and played cards. They thought Earth was still crying, still holding meetings, still sending peace talks. They were wrong. The attack began at exactly 3 o'clock UTC. The first explosion turned the ion cannon into dust. Then came the drop pods. Human soldiers in black. Armor landed silently. No shouting, no orders screamed, just precise movement. The alien guards tried to fight. It didn't last 60 seconds. Some ran. Some begged, no one escaped. On the nearby planet Vulnar, alien farmers looked up and saw flames in the sky. Then silence again. No messages came. No survivors spoke. Just a short signal left behind, bouncing across the galaxy. Protocol Black Winter has begun. In the Galactic Council, panic started to spread. What is this protocol? The reptilian ambassador asked. Why aren't they answering our messages? Another shouted. A hologram of Earth's fleet showed them clearing entire systems. One after another, some council members begged for talks. Others began preparing their own weapons. But it was too late. Earth was already moving. General Hayes stood. In the war room aboard the Black Comet, his eyes were red, his voice cold. No mercy, no warnings. Each system that helped them burn it, leave nothing useful behind. His second-in-command, Admiral Zoya, asked quietly, what if they surrender? Hayes didn't even blink. Did the Hopebringer get a chance to surrender? Back on Earth, the media no longer aired debates. People didn't protest. No one questioned the mission. Because for the first time in human history, the entire planet agreed. This was not revenge. This was justice. Aliens, who once mocked humans, now trembled when they heard the engines of Earth's ships. Peaceful colonies began sending messages. We didn't help them. We swear, please, spare us. But humans didn't answer. They simply moved on to the next target. On a far mining world, an alien worker saw a human dropship in the sky. He fell to his knees and cried, please, we're innocent. The humans scanned him. He had no weapon. No ties to the attackers. They moved past him without a word. He sat shaking, whispering to himself. They didn't even look at me. They didn't have to. Meanwhile, on Helios 4, the colonists were still trapped. Still surrounded, but the enemy numbers were shrinking. The green-eyed creatures that once circled her base were now dying off one group at a time. Commander Leah watched strange lights flash in the distant mountains. Then a loud boom. Someone was cleaning the planet on a hidden military moon. The Threxer leaders gathered. Panic filled the room. We underestimated them, shouted Warlord Scare. They've destroyed 5 weapon caches, 12 spy satellites, and half our fleet. A young general asked, should we offer peace? Scare growled, offer peace. They aren't listening. They're exterminating us. Another general stood up and said, we brought this on ourselves. The room went quiet. Then Scare slammed his claws on the table. Then we die standing. Fight back with everything. But even he didn't believe they had a chance. In a neutral zone, Captain Rowe watched a human fleet pass by. They didn't aim weapons. They didn't say a word. But he could feel something dark in the silence. He turned to his crew. If they look at us, we surrender. Don't speak. Just drop to your knees. No one laughed. Aboard the Tyrant of Mars, a young human. Pilot named Alina whispered into her helmet. This is for the kids on Hopebringer. For the nurses, it's for the message you tried to silence. She locked onto a Threxer command station and pulled the trigger. Back on Earth. A child who had lost her mother on Helios 4 asked her father, when will the war end? The father looked at the stars and answered, when the last one responsible is gone. Not one sooner. And somewhere far away, a small alien child turned to his teacher and asked, What happens when humans stop talking? The teacher looked away and whispered, "That's when you run." It started with whispers. Then came the fear. Not just in the Threxer Empire, but everywhere. In trade stations, in neutral zones. On faraway moons, alien voices spoke of Earth's silence, of their burning ships, of their cold eyes. And soon, those whispers became panic. The Galactic Council had once laughed at humans. Now they held emergency meetings every day. They watched system after system fall to Earth's fleets. Not just battles erased. Entire colonies turned to AI networks. Wiped clean. Defense systems shut down in seconds. There were no warnings, no speeches, only quiet destruction. In the city of Velarine Prime, a wealthy alien world, people gathered in the streets. They watched live reports of Earth's fleet moving into the Terek Belton area, full of old allies who had helped shoot down the Hopebringer. One screen showed a planet's surface cracking from orbital fire. The crowd was silent. Then someone shouted, "We helped humans once." "Maybe they will remember," another shouted back. "They don't remember help. They remember who stood and watched." Fear spread like fire. In one system, a group of alien diplomats tried to send a message to Earth. "We apologize."
Did we?
Were lied to. "We thought the ship was armed." The message never reached Earth. Their satellite was already gone, inside a Threxer prison ship. A captured human was finally rescued by Earth's forces. He was weak, bleeding, barely alive. But when he looked at the black-armored soldiers saving him, he smiled. "Did you burn them?" he whispered. One soldier answered softly, "Not yet. But we're close." Back on Helios 4, Commander Leah heard something strange. Silence. No more green-eyed creatures outside. No more strange howls at night. She opened the main gates and stepped into the open air for the first time in weeks. The valley was quiet, but not empty. Human. Walkers' tall machines armed with plasma weapons stood at the mountain ridge. Behind them, drones hovered in silence. Scanning for life, Earth had arrived. Not to rescue, but to finish what was started. A small drone flew toward the colony. It carried supplies, water, food, medicine, and a message. "Stand by. Evacuation in 72 hours. The war will finish here." Commander Leah closed her eyes. Finally, in the Threxer capital. Warlord Scare watched the last defense fleet burn on his war map. His generals were dead. His city's under siege. For the first time in his life, he whispered, "We should not have fired." On the bridge of the Black Comet, General Hayes looked at the latest report. 12 more systems cleared. Threxer colonies reduced by 40%. Chains cut. No human casualties in 48 hours. He turned to Admiral Zoya. "Start Phase 2. She nodded. "Burn the archives." Yes. History doesn't belong to cowards. Alien governments began to panic. Some tried to send gifts. Gold, technology, rare minerals, Earth, turned all of it. One gift ship was destroyed before it even reached the border. The message was clear. Can't buy forgiveness. In a teaching school on a neutral planet, an alien teacher rewrote his lesson book. The section once called Primitive Earth was deleted. Now it read, "Humanity. Do not provoke." His students sat still. No one made jokes anymore. A galactic news anchor tried to interview a human diplomat. He asked nervously, "Why has Earth gone silent? Why so much destruction?" The diplomat, dressed in a black uniform, looked at him and said only one thing, because talking didn't work. Then he left the room. On Earth, people were quiet. They didn't celebrate. No flags. No parades. They watched the stars and waited. Waited for the moment when the final signal would come. Enemy destroyed. Colony safe. Justice delivered. We're not angry anymore. They were focused. And somewhere, deep in space, in a hidden bunker, a group of Threxer survivors huddled in fear. One of them whispered, "If we hide, maybe they won't find us." But the leader shook his head. "They already know where we are." Outside, the stars flickered, and one of them was moving. Closer. The planet Threxer Prime once stood proud. It had golden towers, wide oceans, and glowing night skies. Now it was shaking. The ground trembled. The people screamed. Sirens cried in every city. The sky was full of ship's ships they had arrived. But they didn't come to negotiate. They came to finish what was started. Inside the main bunker deep below the capital, Warlord Scare stared at the screens. Human ships surrounded the entire planet. There was nowhere to run, he growled. Send a message to Earth. Tell them we surrender. A soldier replied. They're not answering. Another officer shouted, their ground units have landed. Sector 4 is already gone. Scarus's claws shook. We tried to stop the attack on that human rescue ship. He lied, but no one believed him, not even himself. Above the planet, inside the command ship Ironwake, General Hayes watched the feed from Earth's drones. There were children on Threxer Prime. There were schools, markets, families. But Earth remembered the children aboard. Hope Bringer. No mercy, not this time. He turned to his crew and gave one order. Begin cleansing. The first strike was quiet, a soft blue beam that cut through the planet's communication tower. Then came the sonic pulse. It rolled across the planet like thunder. Windows shattered. Walls cracked. The screams began. Human mechs, black as night, landed in every major city. They marched through streets with a motionless precision. Their weapons glowed, but they did not fire without target. They only aimed at military zones. Bunkers, weapons depots. No civilians were targeted, but the fear was enough to the people of Threxer Prime. It felt like the end of the world. An alien child looked up at the sky and saw the stars vanishing, blocked by human warships. Why are they here, Mama? He asked. His mother pulled him close, shaking. Because we hurt them, and now they've come to hurt us back. Back in a secret control room, Threxer generals tried to launch counterattacks. Missiles were fired, lasers activated, none hit. Earth's AI systems jammed them before they left orbit. Scarus' face twisted in horror. They're not even trying hard. They're winning. On the streets, giant screens lit up with a message in every language. You silenced our ship. We silence your planet. Then a map appeared, one that marked every city that would be destroyed in the next hour. No negotiations, just facts. Commander Leah, still on Eliosphore, received the broadcast. She watched Threxer Prime shaking under Earth's fire. She didn't smile. She didn't cry. She just said quietly, you should have let the rescue ship land. Meanwhile, deep inside a lab on Threxer Prime, scientists begged their leaders to surrender completely. Please, they'll destroy us all. But there was no one left to lead. The command center had already been destroyed by a single drone, strikes silent and precise. No war music, no human faces, only fire. In the final hour, Earth's weapons targeted the last military base hidden under the ice mountains. It took 12 seconds to melt the entire region. Screams were heard across the planets, emergency networks, and then signal went silent. On Earth, screens turned black. The message was short. Target, Threxer Prime. Status, neutralized. No cheering, no clapping, just silence. The planet had screamed, and now it was gone. In the Galactic Council, leaders were frozen. Many couldn't speak. Some had already started evacuating their own planets, afraid they might be next. One ambassador whispered, "What have we awakened?" No one answered, because the galaxy knew the truth now. Earth did not bluff. Aboard the Black Comet, Admiral Zoya looked at the wreckage below. She asked, "How long until the next target?" General Hayes replied, 2 hours. She nodded, no emotion. And on a far colony world, a small alien girl asked her teacher, "Will the humans come here too?" The teacher paused and softly said, "Only if we give them a reason." The galaxy was running. Ships packed with refugees jumped from system to system. Spaceports were full. Borders were closed. Everyone feared just one thing: humanity. Not because of their numbers, not because of their weapons, but because of their silence. After the fall of Threxer Prime, survivors tried to hide. They fled to neutral planets, space stations, and even pirate bases. Some begged other species to protect them. But no one wanted to stand in Earth's way. Not anymore. On the moon of Cassera 9, a group of Threxer generals landed in secret. They used false IDs, fake names, disguised their ships. They thought they were safe. But Earth already knew. A single scout drone had followed their escape from orbit. It watched quietly, listened, tracked every step, then it called the fleet on board. The Silent Storm, a human destroyer-class warship. Captain Alina received the confirmation signal. Target confirmed, the AI said. Threxer command cell located. She nodded. Send the message. The last words the Threxer generals received on their communication screen were, "You can run, but justice doesn't sleep." 3 seconds later, orbital cannons opened fire. The bunker was vaporized. No trial. No arrest, just ashes. Across the galaxy. Others tried to hide too. A rich alien politician who supported the cannon strike on Hopebringer escaped to a peaceful luxury planet. Thought Earth wouldn't find him there. But one morning, his entire mansion collapsed from a precision. Railgun shot fired from orbit. There was no warning. Only a crater left behind. Even the pirates who once smuggled. Threxer leaders off-world began refusing to help. If Earth finds out we're hiding them, one pirate captain said, they'll erase us too. In the Galactic Council, fear became terror. One species, the Dravons, held a meeting. We must stop Earth now, their warlord said. They're becoming too powerful. Another Draven general shook his head. We're too late. They are not asking questions. They're cleaning house. And the worst part, Earth wasn't losing. Not even once. Back on Earth, the global command center released a new message to the galaxy. It was just one sentence. There is no safe place for those who stood silent. Commander Leah, now safely off Helios 4 with her people, watched the galaxy shift. She heard stories, alien fleets fleeing, leaders surrendering without being asked, entire systems going dark out of fear, and all she said was, good. Now they understand. But Earth's war wasn't only about punishment. It was about memory. Every time a leader or a species said, we weren't involved, Earth's AI pulled footage logs and hidden messages. Every lie was exposed. Every coward shown to the galaxy. Truth was now Earth's weapon, and the galaxy had nowhere to hide. One alien scientist who once laughed at humanity's emotions tried to send an apology. He was ignored. 3 hours later, Slab vanished under a tactical rail strike. No cameras, no threats, just justice. In a deep corner of space, an old pirate station tried to shut off all communication. It went dark, turned off all energy signatures, hoped to hide in the black. But Earth's drones found it anyway, and they didn't attack. They simply played a recording on every wall inside. We know who helped them run. We know who took their blood money. We know who watched. You will not be forgotten. And the drones left, and fear did the rest. General Hayes stood on the bridge of the Black Comet, arms behind his back. He stared at a long list of marked systems. His officer asked, Sir, how many are left? Hayes didn't look away. Not enough to save them. Too many to forgive. In schools across Earth, children learned a new phrase. Never forget Hopebringer. They didn't. The galaxy had seen many wars, but never one like this. Because in this war, you couldn't run. You couldn't lie. You couldn't hide. You could only hope. We weren't next. The stars were quiet, not because there was peace, but because fear had silenced everything. No broadcasts, no trade signals, no messages of warning, just empty space. System after system went dark, not from war, but from fear. Planets turned off their beacons. Stations blocked all outside contact. Ships moved without lights, without names. Hoping the humans wouldn't see them, the galaxy had learned something terrifying. It wasn't Earth's weapons they feared most. It was their silence. On a lonely station orbiting the dead world Drell 3, an alien merchant named Venora watched the news on a cracked screen. There were no news anchors, no debates. It's only short updates from unknown voices. 5 more systems have gone dark. No survivors found in orbit. Earth continues to move without resistance. He turned to his daughter and whispered, "Do not speak to anyone about Earth, not even your friends, not ever." The heart of the Galactic Council. Chaos reigned. Empty seats, closed doors, frightened ambassadors, even the once proud Valari. Empire had shut down all transmissions. One ambassador stood before the others and said, "We laughed at them. We ignored them, and now we can't even look them in the eye." No one replied, because no one wanted to be noticed back on Earth. Things were calm, no protests, no celebrations, just work. Factories made ships, AI systems tracked names. Soldiers. Trained in silence, the Earth's government didn't give speeches anymore. They just posted short updates to the galaxy. Target removed, justice complete. Next. In the skies above a desert moon called Yenthar, a new human ship entered orbit. It was not a warship. It had no weapons, just a glowing message screen. "You were silent when we begged, so now we are silent as we judge." The planet surrendered without a single shot fired. Commander Leah sat aboard a peaceful Earth shuttle now, orbiting her new home station. She watched as drones delivered water to her people. Food, medicine, peace. A child tugged at her sleeve. "Will the bad aliens come back?" She smiled sadly. "No, child. The galaxy won't dare anymore." In a remote Threxer archive vault, a surviving scientist sent out a hidden message to warn others. "The humans are rewriting the galaxy, and we let it happen." Before the message could finish, Earth's AI intercepted it. The response was one word: confirmed. Then the vault exploded. The Black Comet hovered quietly above the ruined world of Vascanina, former pirate hub that once trafficked human prisoners. General Hayes stared out at the planet, now covered in ash and silence. Admiral Zoya approached. "What remains?" He didn't answer right away, then said softly, "Their memory. That's all." In the outer spiral region, 3 alien warlords met in secret. "We must strike Earth now before they become gods," one said. Another replied, "We strike and we die." They don't speak, but they don't need to. The third warlord remained quiet, then finally said, "If we want to live, we disappear." And so they did. All 3 left their worlds behind, changed names. It didn't matter. Earth found them anyway. One by one, aboard a quiet transport ship. A young alien girl asked her father, "What happens if we meet a human?" He didn't speak. He simply handed her a card to keep in her pocket. It said, "I did not harm the humans. I did not watch them suffer. I did not stay silent." She looked up. "Will this save me?" Her father just looked away in Earth's command center. A deep AI voice counted. Systems cleared. 231 targets removed. 0 defeats. Silence remains. And across the stars, every child, every leader, every soldier now feared the day when they would see nothing on the radar, because that's when the humans were near. You didn't see them. You didn't hear them. You only realized they were close. When your stars stopped shining, the war was over, but the galaxy didn't. Celebrate, because no one knew what over meant anymore. The Threxer were gone, their ships burned, their planets empty, their language deleted from databases. Earth didn't erase them for power. They erased them because no one else had the courage to say, "This is enough." And now the message had been written in the stars forever. Inside Earth's central war room, a final message was prepared. It was not sent to any one species. It was sent to everyone broadcast. Every language. It was not long. It didn't shout. It didn't shout. It whispered. "We asked for help. You stayed silent. You begged for mercy. You turned your backs. You watched us burn. So now, we watched you run. Let this be the last time the stars ignore the cries of the weak." Across the galaxy, leaders fell to their knees. Some cried, some vanished. Others rewrote their history books overnight, to remove any sign that they once laughed at humans. They didn't want to be next, but they knew would never be forgotten. In a peaceful corner of Earth, a small garden was built. No statues, no flags, just a plaque. It read, "Here rest the names of those who died aboard the rescue ship Hopebringer. You were healers, engineers, teachers. You were never soldiers. You were the first to fall, and the reason we rose." Flowers were placed there every day by people, by children, and even by AI, because Earth would never forget why they fought on. A distant moon once ruled by traitors. Its only ruins remained, not from war, from judgment. A young alien cadet, born after the war, asked his instructor, "Why don't we study Earth history anymore?" The instructor paused, then answered quietly, "Because some stories burn too deep." In the black space between systems, a signal drifted, no source, no ship, no voice, just data, floating forever. Anyone who received it would read one final warning: "We did not want war. We wanted our people back. You didn't listen. So now you will remember." Back on Helios 4, life returned. The sky was blue again. Gardens grew. Children played outside without fear. Commander Leah stood at the edge of the valley, watching the sun rise. A small girl stood beside her. "Will they ever come back?" the girl asked. Leah shook her head. "No, they're gone now." "Whoa, whoa, whoa," the girl smiled. "Did we win?" Leah thought for a moment, then whispered, "No one wins when you have to teach the galaxy what pain feels like." In the darkness of space, one final AI message was recorded in Earth's vault. "We gave mercy once. It was rejected. We gave silence once. It was mocked. Now we give memory. And memory never dies." Years later, a new alien species discovered the old battlefield remained silent. War machines orbiting long-dead planets. They didn't know the full story, but they understood one thing. Something made the galaxy bleed, and it spoke Earth's language. The humans never bragged, never gloated, never claimed the throne. They simply returned to their home, waited because mercy was gone. But memory had replaced it forever.